you work at Cheers? With this one?
The whiteboard's down there, man.
Is it?
Yeah. So I think we might be rolling.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Try before we die. We're back at the bar.
Yep, we're still in the midst of this pandemic, which refuses to seem to let go of us. So we had obviously a couple weeks of downtime.
Yeah, we've banked enough episodes. In fact, we just came up shy one time, but it allowed us to post up our very first episode. We hope you got a kick out of that. I think my beard was only about here.
Yeah, it was like I said, it was interesting to see us at the very first episode, to see a little bit static, a little bit like choreographed in the sense this is what we're going to do.
You're a little stiff.
We were. And the other one I wish we had you appeared or we had time is the one where we throw in.
Yeah, we're all done with this. Yeah.
Because I think that sort of shows the direction of where we went.
That might have even been recorded the same night.
I think it was. I think it was.
The pandemic's still happening. I've actually been fortunate enough to have my first vaccine shot. So
very nice.
And I know that you were recently tested again.
Yes, I was.
Yeah, and so that's actually a big piece of why we did not have a fresh episode a couple of weeks ago. But we've done pretty well keeping the momentum going.
Yeah, we're trying to keep the pace going. Yeah. I mean, it's certainly sometimes when we have if you pay attention to the clothing or maybe the way that we express things later in the night. It's a little bit tough sometimes, but it is what it is, and we're doing what we can, and we just got to hope at some stage that the world will reset itself, and we'll be able to just do this on a steady, pace that we were doing before.
Yep. So this actually, if we were a had it together kind of show, this would actually be episode 1 of season 2.
I like that.
Yeah,
I actually do like that.
Yeah, because we are a full year in. The episode where we posted our very first episode, that was the anniversary date.
Yep.
And so this is our first fresh episode.
I like this.
In a new year, season 2.
Season 2.
Yep. So it's regular episode night.
So hopefully you don't have the sophomore slump.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll kick on.
Yeah, we've done good though, because there's 52 weeks in a year, so there's got to be 26 regular episodes, maybe 25 because of the one repeat and then all the bonus. So we have put quite a number of episodes out.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, we have tried some whiskey, which was the plan. Try before we die. But it's regular episode night, Mal.
Yeah, it is.
So the format hasn't changed. There have been no whiskey trips, so to speak.
No,
so
the ferry's been quiet so far.
The ferry's been quiet, so
damn COVID.
We are pushing through some of the bottles, but we got plenty, as you can see.
Yes.
There was one small drop off by the ferry, just so you know.
Oh, was there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good to see that she's still working on.
She fronted by and said, just a couple for you.
I appreciate that. But I can honestly tell people out there, we've literally just had the tip of the iceberg.
Yep.
As far as I'm concerned with the amount of Scotch that's in this place.
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm curious to see what we're going to drink tonight. So you ready to find out?
So what we usually do is we have a small discussion, which we've actually had. My friend will pull out his phone, he will spin up a random number, and then he will continue to walk around this bar trying to find a bottle.
Yep. And
I will just sit here waiting for him. Flash, you'll probably have a conniption because we won't know exactly where it is. But season 2 has not brought the budget to number anything.
Yeah, no math, still all in the head. And there's empty spaces, so we can't even count on what we know the count is. So we're just going to go. I've got it spun right up here. We're going to hit the generate. We're going to find out what we're drinking. All right. I'm hoping it's just right behind us.
It would be nice there. There's a lot back there. That I
all right,
want to
result. Find. Oh, boy, it's hard to read. What is this? What do you think that says? I mean, that must say 101, right?
Yeah.
I wonder why we can't, I don't know.
Probably not.
Cheap. You gotta invest a little more money into their coding or something.
Okay.
That's got to be 101. And it's not because we can't see it. It's actually because it's hidden in the script. Is like a window in a window.
Sideways.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah,
maybe this way.
I don't know.
What do you do? One of these?
Let's say abracadabra.
Abracadabra.
Yeah, it looks like 101.
It's 101.
Anyhow.
And it's not. Isn't there another kind of liquor 101?
Mad Dog 2020.
No, it's a rum, right? No, that's 151.
151.
151. All right, so 101. So I think that we're going to be right on that top shelf, but we have to account for gaps. So we've got 1 gap, 2 gap. Got any gaps behind you here, Mal? But the fairy came.
Oh, that's right.
See right here?
That's right.
The fairy came.
I do not see any gaps on my side.
All right, so I've got 2 gaps, 2, 4, 6. So this is 75 bottles minus 2. 73. 74, 75, 76. Isn't that interesting? 5, 6,
Yeah.
76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 82, 84, 86, 88, 90, 92, 94, 96. And that makes sense because it's been 98 in the past. So 96, 97, 98, 99, 101. That's that bottle, right?
Is that the Macphail?
That's that Macphail's.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go get it.
You go get that.
All right.
So this is the second one. This is the second one we're doing.
This one.
Yeah. But this is the second Macphail's?
I think we've had I think there's a Gordon and Macphail.
Oh, it's a Gordon Macphail.
So there's a few. So here's another Macphail's, right? Gordon and Macphail, right here. But so this is a labeling that we've seen like right down here.
Yeah.
Right. So we've actually drank a bottle of this in the past. But oh, interesting. We're right behind this. Mal, would you say what this says?
These are a few of my favorite things, and yes, they are.
And Christopher Plummer just passed away yesterday. Yeah.
Well played, sir.
Yeah.
Well played.
Yes.
May he rest in peace. Great actor.
91 years old. Can't complain. He probably tried before he died.
Oh, well, no.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think he was scared.
All right. So we've pulled a Macphail's private. This is one of these ones again, private label. They bought a bottle from a distillery, said we like it, we'll age it, we'll bottle it when we're ready. So this is a Highland Park.
I like Highland Parks.
Yeah. This is an 8-year-old. Not too often, folks, that we'll see a young age statement. Oftentimes it'll be a no age statement when we start to see whiskeys under 10 years old. But Macphail's must have felt good about this whiskey at the 8-year point for them to buy the cask and private label it and bottle it. So this is, let's see what we can learn. So this is 40% alcohol by volume. This is select, right, yeah. Highland Park was the distiller. Oh!
Is that got a stamp?
This has got a stamp. So I had this shipped in from Europe.
Well,
I didn't buy it in Europe.
yes.
You can see it right here. So this was bought from the whiskey lovers at singlemaltsdirect.com. You should send us a check. Yes. So we have no tasting notes. This might be in a book though, Mal. Let's take a look.
Am I going with it? Oh, okay.
So Highland Park, this is this the Orkney Isles?
Yes. Isn't this this is with Scapa.
This is the neighbor of Scapa,
And
the northernmost distilleries in Scotland.
I want to say the tidbit of information I think that comes with that. Isn't Highland Park one of the smallest? Is that what they say, the smallest distillery on the island?
Well, there's only a couple. I mean, the smallest I think is Edradour, which we have not opened a bottle of. We have some.
Maybe it was something else. Maybe it was something
Pass
else.
me a book too, and I'll do a quick peruse. Yeah. Do the one under the very bottom over there. I'll take a look in there. I feel like I've seen this bottle in a book. Highland Park. Let's hope it's alphabetical. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. It's just like Counting Flash. Highland Park. The most northerly distillery in Scotland.
Maybe that's what it was.
According to some, this distillery was clandestinely operating since the 1790s, but became licensed as a legitimate business in 1824. that's all we learn in that book.
Yeah, there's nothing in here.
Nothing in that one either. Gosh, I feel like I have seen this somewhere. So we're nothing.
No. Well, the Highlands, but not ours.
Yeah. So we're going in blind. We have no tasting notes to reflect on. All we can be certain of is Gordon and Macphail's is a pretty reputable private labeler, and they felt good about this bottle or this cask, and they took it and released it and numbered it as an 8-year-old.
So the only thing I can say, right? So to add to your little bit of information you gave. So this is what they're going to say. Highland Park is the greatest all-rounder in the world of malt whiskey. It is definitely an island style, but combining all the elements of a classic single malt. Smokiness with its own heather honey accent, maltiness, smoothness, roundness, fullness of flavor, and length of finish, which I would say true for all the islands that I've ever tried.
If we, to build on that, if we end up with something smoky here,
Yeah.
the peat used for malting the barley is locally grown and mixed with heather, which is, and that's not some lady who owed them money who they chopped up and put in a thing. Heather is an actual, like it's a plant, it's floral, yeah. Right? Mixed with heather, which is said to add a distinctive note to the whiskey. This very highly rated malt is one of the world's best sellers. And you can see, Mal, we have several bottles up there. And it's interesting that this is the one we pulled. So we're going to open it.
We are going to open it.
And I wonder if there's a date that we can reflect on for how long this has been kicking around here.
And this is the, like, looks at the color, is a nice golden color. Very full.
There's one last place sometimes you can find out when the bottle was manufactured. This time, last time we were able to secure a date, I think of 2013. This time,
oh, that was when my math was all over the place.
Yeah, this. I would definitely say this. I know I have not had a shipment come in from Europe in at least 5 or 6 years. So I feel like this has probably been here since 2015, somewhere in that window. So here we go. By looking at the bottom, Mal, I was able to sort of hopefully lubricate the cork there. See, I was supposed to be tricky. All right. 8-year-old private label Highland Park. Just cracked free.
Okay.
I thought we were with Vale. I could make a crass, crude comment right now, but you see, I'm not gonna.
Oh, good sound.
Oh, yeah. You can see how dry the cork is up top.
Yep.
But we definitely got some moisture on at the bottom there, and there was the... Not picking up on any smoke right now. But maybe some of that heather, maybe some of that floral right there.
Yeah, it definitely sort of smelled the honey. But no smokiness.
But there's all kinds of deception in Scotch.
It's got a, like a... If I was to be like, oh, this is what I feel like that smells like, it almost smells like a wine cork.
You know, I don't have to go back to it. I agree.
Okay, thank you.
I agree. I agree.
I was trying to think. I'm like, how stupid am I going to sound? Well, you know what? The program is supposed to be honest, so that's my honest opinion of what that smelled like.
Yeah, it's like I think we could even listen. It could be like, oh, it's too cold outside. Oh, did you really think? Why do we have to do that? It is a wine cork.
It is a wine cork. I love those things. It does smell good though.
It. You know, I'm gonna stay on this wine idea that you've brought up, and I'm gonna say Chardonnay. I'm gonna say a white wine. Interesting. Very light on the nose, I guess, is where I'm going with a little bit of sharpness like a white wine will do. All right. Let's see what we have here. Little bit of smoke for me, just a little bit.
And some heat through here.
Honey sweet?
Yep.
Honey sweet for sure. Little bit of smoke lingering down to the solar plexus.
Yeah, I can feel it in my throat.
But sweet seems to be
The name of the game.
right. The prominent or the dominant experience is that this is a sweet whiskey, but not sickly by any stretch.
No. This is another one of those ones where I'm going to put in. This is just a pleasant tasting whiskey. There's no real outstanding aspects of it. Like, okay, this is what this is, or this is what this is. This is just well rounded.
Mm-hmm.
This is another one of those ones where I'd say, hey, if you were going to start off and you happen to pick a bottle randomly and you pick this bottle, you would not be disappointed.
Right, it's not rambunctious.
Nope.
Right, it'd be a nice introduction for somebody. It's not immature for an 8-year-old.
Nope.
It doesn't feel like, oh, it really could have evolved into something. I think, again, these guys know what they're doing, and they said, this whiskey is done.
What's strange, like you say, is the fact that it's very odd to be like, okay, this is an 8-year-old, and to have this much going for it, in the sense that you've got this nice sweet flavor that sort of keeps everything tied together. You got a little bit of smokiness and a little bit of heat, but it's nothing that you would turn your nose up or force you to be like, oh, I need to drink something else.
Right. Somebody be like, oh, that's why I don't drink Scotch. It's too smoky.
Correct.
Right. Yeah, you're not having that experience at all. It's just sort of around in the background.
But it's not
Very
that level of. I go back to like the Macallan or the old Pulteney that we tried.
Yeah.
Not to that level where you've got that much going on, that much dynamic taste.
Yeah.
This is just like a nice little neat package that says, hey, I'm a Scotch. I come from the Highland distillery.
Yeah.
I was taken at a young age.
Right?
There
was a raiding party.
I was putting a bomb, and this is what I am. And this is what you
Threw
get.
the cask over their shoulders and left town. Not immature. It's ready to drink.
The second round, you definitely get a little bit more of the smoke. But I think it's because now it's coated.
Right. We're going to have to talk a little bit about glasses too, and what opening up a whiskey means. We won't do that today, but it is on the very short list at this point in my mind. But I think that's an element of what's happening too, is that the whiskey itself has opened up. Yeah.
But that's good. I like this. This is not one of those ones where I'd be like, oh yeah, I'd try that again.
Yep.
But I don't
and
know.
You do get a little bit more of the smoke as time goes on, but it's, again, still very faint, very background player.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'd put this in the same realm as one of those bottles I would just sit and drink. But I would definitely have a couple of
Yeah,
bottles
you
of
could
this and be
pour
like,
this again.
and then be like, okay, this is your. But now it's time to go on to something a little bit more
Right.
rambunctious or a little bit more to it. But this is nice. I like this.
Yeah.
Gordon and Macphail. Yet again.
Yeah, those guys
know what they're doing, don't they?
They do. Well, they're spending money.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they are.
It's probably not
I'm sure they
with
are.
the intention of like, that was throwing good money after bad.
Yeah, no, and that's an actually interesting point that when you
Yeah.
talk about this, where they go to a distillery and they take certain casks and bottle them and do their own thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that in itself, just to be able to go in and then pick. Okay, we're going to try this cask, okay.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they pick one that's like, okay,
Yeah.
this is good, we're going to take it. That in itself is just quite impressive because you figure all the bottle, like all the rest of the bottles that we have, that are named brands, and you go through it like Macallans and stuff like that.
Yep.
I mean, they do this for a living, But now you've got this outside entity that actually goes in and just goes through like, oh, I'm just going to peruse this, and I'll take this one. Right. I like it. I think it's pretty cool.
And the bigger houses that do the distillery releases, we're talking hundreds, perhaps thousands of casks that they're then sort of just batting together, and it's the single malt. Whereas these guys are just grabbing a couple and going. And so they focus on consistency. Yeah. These guys focus on uniqueness. Yeah.
And that's the thing, I guess it's the specific part, is the uniqueness that they pulled this one.
Right. Because this doesn't taste like many of the Highland Parks that I've had. Those Highland Parks are, and I don't want to say more evolved, as we've talked about this not being immature, but those have different flavor profiles.
Yeah, they have very distinct. Very distinct. Whereas this is like almost like it didn't quite make those notes, but they're there.
Yeah,
they're there. You can sort of be like, and once you like, not that I'm like a drinking connoisseur of Highlands, but I would think if you knew what a Highland Park was, you could just definitely come back and go, okay, well, this is where this is at, and it hasn't quite got here, but it definitely has. Right. Definitely has the taste. It's good. I like it.
Right. My eyes keep going back to the other Highland Parks we have here at the bar, and I'm familiar with several of them. A couple I haven't tried, but I just know that those are just deeper whiskeys.
Yes.
And this is just a much lighter experience.
Yes.
And super pleasant.
Yeah. Like my wife says, this is like this will be the beginning part of the journey.
Yep.
Which would head up to somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Which definitely there's a couple in there that I'm like, ooh, I bet you those have got something going from.
Yeah.
There's two in there especially.
Yeah, there's I think 2 up there that I have not tried, and the other ones I have tried.
And I see we're a little rusty this time round for the first episode of season 2. I don't see any ice.
No ice. I've got some water.
Let me try a little bit of water.
Yeah, it's a freshie.
Let me just see if it is anything.
Yeah. Well, I did, speaking of rusty, it is interesting. I did hear on the news that there's been a number of low-level errors in the airline industry where pilots are discussing, we forgot to put the de-icer on, or we forgot to take the emergency brake off because we haven't been flying. And so they are using the word rusty as well. So, no ice.
Really doesn't do much.
I think I'm a water guy, but I think that this whiskey is ready to drink.
Yeah. I agree.
If there were tasting notes somewhere, and sometimes you'll see the notes, with water, without water, I'm not sure that I would be interested in.
No, actually, I will say, if anything, it brought a little bit more of the bitterness out of it, which sort of like takes away from how smooth that actually was.
So, though we did not have any ice for our 8-year-old Gordon and Macphail Highland Park private release, we are prepared with our cheers.
Oh, we do?
Yeah. And so it's actually a little bit of a history lesson in Old English today.
Oh, good Lord.
In fact, one of my son's middle name is Chaucer. So I did spend a little time at university learning a little bit about medieval and Old English pronunciation and meanings, and I'm going to forget all of it, but we're going to talk a little bit about the history of the basic cheers. Now, the first written record, according to our source, of anything connected to cheers is in the year 1225, Malcolm.
That's not the bar where Ted Danson works, correct?
That is not that bar. Right. Yeah. That is not that bar. That is a good connection, but it is not that bar. Okay. So in 1225, it was Macphail Whisky.
I'm just going to take your word on all of this. You just roll with this.
Roll with this. Macphail Whisky, which is English, Malcolm.
Well, old English.
Old English.
I'm not that old.
Right, Old English. And my belief, and I don't have any confirmation on this, but essentially it's sort of like making cheer. Okay?
Which it certainly looks like it is.
Yeah. Because even in the Old English, the spellings have some relationship to today's spelling. In the 14th century, you would often say to your colleague at the pub or on the road, if you met somebody, what cheddar be with you? And so what cheer is with you, right? What is good with you, right? And that eventually got shortened to cheddar, right? And this spelling is C-H-E-R-E, Chera. And the first time we saw cheers in the written record was, and this surprised me, Malcolm.
Yeah.
Was in 1919.
Reading the notes, I could see that, and I'm like, that actually is rather surprising. That's how long it took.
Yeah, that it evolved, and so and it doesn't mean that people weren't saying it before 1919. According to our source, that's the first time that it was noted in the written record.
Oh, all right.
Right. So though we've done it before, tonight we're just going to offer a simple cheers. So Mal, would you like to do a cheers, a chaera? What chaera be with you? Or makayan chaeras?
I'm going to stick with the English, which is cheers, and you could do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I'm going to do makayan chaeras.
You go there.
Yeah, all right. So, Highland Park, 8-year-old, Gordon
Nice one.
Macphail, not immature, ready to drink.
Cheers.
Makayan chaera.